In the introduction, Dr. Joe Dispenza begins by explaining how our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are intricately connected and how most of our actions are driven by subconscious habits. He suggests that these habits are not necessarily our true choices but patterns that we have unconsciously created throughout our lives. The book offers a solution. Through intentional and conscious effort, we can rewire our brain, break free from limiting thought patterns, and create a new version of ourselves. Dispenza's central premise is that by understanding the science of the brain and mind, we can break the habitual cycles that limit our potential. He introduces the concept of neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Creative vision. Dr. Dispenza delves deeper into the idea of creative vision as a powerful tool for transformation. He believes that in order to create change, we must first develop a vivid and compelling vision of the future we want to create. This vision needs to be more than just a wish. It needs to be a clear and emotionally charged goal that excites us. He explains that most of us are stuck in the past because our thoughts are continually focused on past experiences. To break free from these patterns, we must redirect our attention toward a positive and imaginative vision of the future, focusing not just on material outcomes, but on who we want to become. By visualizing ourselves in a new light, we can start to cultivate the emotions and behaviors that align with that vision, effectively changing our state of being. Organized thought. The process of changing our life begins with organizing our thoughts. Dr. Dispenza describes how our brains are naturally inclined to follow patterns based on past experiences. These habitual thought patterns dictate our emotions and actions, making it difficult to break free from repetitive cycles. To disrupt this, we must actively engage in organizing our thoughts. Dispenza explains that by becoming conscious of our thoughts and emotions, we can stop reacting automatically to triggers and instead choose how we want to respond. This requires a deliberate effort to observe and control our thinking, avoiding negative thought spirals, and creating a new framework of thought that aligns with the vision of the future we have set for ourselves. By consciously organizing our thoughts, we begin to change our internal dialogue, which ultimately leads to different emotional states and actions. Controlled attention. One of the key aspects of creating lasting change is controlling attention. Dr. Dispenza elaborates on how much of our daily lives are lived on autopilot, where our minds wander and our attention drifts between different distractions. This lack of focus keeps us stuck in old patterns. In this chapter, Dispenza emphasizes the need to cultivate controlled attention. The act of focusing our attention on the present moment and the new version of ourselves we want to become is essential. He introduces the idea that controlled attention allows us to break the cycle of habitual thought and redirect our mental energy toward the creation of our new reality. Focusing our attention on positive intentions rather than the distractions and negative thought loops of the past is what will ultimately lead to transformation. Andrew Carnegie's analysis of controlled attention. Dr. Dispenza brings in the analysis of Andrew Carnegie, one of the most successful industrialists in history, to underscore the importance of controlled attention. Carnegie, who built an empire of wealth and influence, believed that the ability to focus one's mental energy was a critical factor in success. He argued that success wasn't simply about intelligence or hard work, but about having the mental discipline to stay focused on one's goals and aspirations. Dispenza explains that Carnegie's success came from his ability to concentrate his thoughts on what he wanted to achieve, without being sidetracked by distractions or limiting beliefs. Dispenza uses this analysis to reinforce the message that controlled attention is the key to achieving success. By focusing on what we want, rather than being consumed by the mind's tendency to react to past experiences, we can begin to create our desired outcomes. Conclusion. In the conclusion, Dr. Dispenza reiterates the central theme of the book. In order to break free from our old self and create a new reality, we must break the habits that define who we are. These habits are ingrained in us through repetition, but through the power of neuroplasticity, we have the ability to change them. Dispenza emphasizes that personal transformation is not a passive process. It requires active participation. The key to change is breaking the cycle of habitual thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that keep us stuck in the past. To truly transform, we must embrace the concept of neuroplasticity, which allows the brain to change and form new connections, just as we have the ability to form new habits. He encourages the reader to apply the principles of controlled attention, creative vision, and organized thought to reshape their identity. Ultimately, Dispenza concludes that anyone can change their life by taking conscious control of their thoughts, emotions, and attention, and by directing them toward the creation of their new, empowered self. Final reflection. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is not just a book about personal development. It is a guide to understanding how our minds work and how we can consciously alter the very makeup of our thoughts and behaviors. Dr. Joe Dispenza provides a comprehensive roadmap to help readers transform their lives by leveraging the science of the brain. Through the tools of creative vision, organized thought, and controlled attention, he offers a blueprint for those who wish to break free from old habits and create the life they desire.